Hey guys, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cut Shield, for bringing you this episode. Make sure you check them out on the link below and use the promo code for 25% off your order. Used by all 32 NHL teams and players, Cut Shield is the premier protective player clothing designed by players for players. Their innovative cut resistant clothing has prevented serious injury to numerous players, including over 30 NHL players. Cut Shield gives you the peace of mind to go out and play without worrying about injury. Use our promo code Grove City Hockey, all lowercase and no space, for an additional 25% off your order today.
Now carried it in back into goal.
That was a beautiful passing play right there, Sean.
What a save! Woo! Talk about a move.
Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, well, it's my sixth year of college.
Welcome to GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, and with me is a very special guest. I've got Miles Finney, who's here in the United States, touring around, playing a little roller, playing a little ice, but he hails from the United Kingdom, or Britain, or England, for those that want to be facetious. So how you doing, Miles? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Been a blast out here for a few months. Got another month left out here, just like you said. Played a bunch of roller and ice out here. Yeah, I'm having a blast so far.
Nice. So we actually kind of ran into each other at the MyHa Championship weekend at Fraser at the Big Boy Hockey Arena. We were kind of trying to do a live interview, but the way that the system was running that day, it just wasn't going to work. But we're happy that we have you on the show today, and we're excited to talk about European ice hockey, European roller hockey, and how it and predominantly in the UK. It's really not as popular in the United Kingdom, although there is quite a few teams, I should say. I think there's like 40 some teams in the NIHL, and then I think there's 26 teams in the EIHL or something like that.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think for us to go try and pick my brains now, I think you maybe got the numbers slightly mixed up around that. So the EIHL, that's the top league in ice hockey over there. Off the top of my head, I don't think there's that many. I think there's more like 12 or 15 teams in that. And then it drops down to the NIHL. Same again, probably. Well, I think there'd be 10 teams in that division. And then we drop down again, probably another. I think in the NIHL one's 12, maybe 14, and then same again and then same again. So I think there's all in all, before it gets to like the rec divisions and stuff, it's more like 4 divisions off the top of my head. Okay, cool. And so you played in the NIHL, right? Yeah. So I signed in the NIHL, which would be in League 2 practically. Right. Played in that league for a couple of years, and then last year I dropped down to the NIHL 1. And did for a year. And you are a goaltender? You love playing that position? Yeah, played it since I was probably about, I'd say 5 or 6 years old. Right. I started out as an outfield player, and then my mum said that she wasn't spending any more money to watch me sit in the penalty box, so took me some pads on there, and I was, I was fine. I was happy to do that. So, I mean, I've got a little screw loose. I mean, growing up, I had a couple of screw looses, so threw me in the net, and everything else is history from then on.
Cool. So now, how did you get involved in hockey? Because soccer or football is a pretty predominant sport. It's actually the pastime right there in England. So, how did you kind of gravitate? Did you play football and then kind of just go to hockey, or is it just like, all my mates are playing the football, but I wanted to be a little different?
So funny story. This one as well. So my dad was a professional footballer
Okay.
or soccer player. So before I was born, he was playing football or soccer, what you guys say, and he had an injury, which then led to him not being able to play anymore. He then became a coach, and I have two brothers, one older, one younger. My older brother was playing football on my dad's team, and his friend at the time suggested that he went and did some roller hockey skating, and then one thing led to another. Nathan ended up playing. My older brother's only ever played roller hockey. Nathan never played ice hockey.
Okay.
But he's played a pretty high standard in terms of roller hockey in Europe. He played in Spain and France. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, he stayed in that side of the sport, and that's how I kind of got into it. Really, just obviously followed the footsteps of Nathan. But then when you're growing up, you're instantly told that, or even at school, you do football. That's just how it is, and
Right.
I just kind of got out the rat race and did something different.
Now, so you told us a little bit about your dad. What team did he play for?
He played for a team called Nottingham Forest.
Oh, Nottingham. Yeah, that's I believe, isn't that like Lad Boy's favorite team? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. He loves that. So cool. So tell us a little bit about roller hockey in the United Kingdom. How big is it? Is there quite a few rinks? I'm not sure if anyone really knows like the geographical like the size of the United Kingdom, how big or how small it is to get from one side of the island to the other.
Sure. So in terms of from the bottom to the top, I would have to say, I mean, from below London to where I'm from, which is Sheffield, that's like 5 hours.
Okay.
I'm literally right in the middle of the country, so yeah, so it's probably 5 hours from the bottom to the middle, and then another 5 or 6, depending whereabouts, to get from the middle to Scotland, which is right at the top.
Yep. Okay.
And then either side, you've probably got 2 hours either side. So 10 from top to bottom, and probably 4 across from either side.
Okay, yeah, that's not terrible.
Not very big, in all fairness.
Right.
In terms of the rinks for ice compared to roller and stuff, there's a lot more ice hockey rinks than roller hockey rinks. In terms of roller hockey, which is what I grew up playing, played that until I was probably 23, I guess. Ice hockey rinks in England, I think off the top of my head, there's probably only 5 or 6 total rinks of roller hockey. Ice hockey, you're probably talking, I don't know, 25 or 30 maybe in total. So still, like where I'm currently situated in Michigan right now, I mean, I can drive 15 minutes either way and I'm at a rink,
Right.
Within them rinks, there's probably 3 or 4 rinks inside them rinks. So, with an area of around an hour's drive where I'm currently from, there's probably the same amount of rinks there is in the whole United Kingdom.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
If you ever get the chance to go to Minnesota, the hockey arena number goes up exponentially because that is literally the state. It's the state of hockey, bro. I kid you not, man. I was just like, wait a minute. There's a roller hockey rink like 10 minutes away from the hotel, and we didn't even know about it until after we got back.
Yeah.
And then there's like 15 other rinks like as you were driving around. So it's like that's
the thing cool. I'm kind of like gauging here. I mean, I know that Michigan's been renowned for like a very big hockey state. I get there's some good players that's come out of it and still is coming out of here. But like you'd be driving for I could be driving 5 minutes down the road and see a new ice hockey rink, and I'm like, wow, there's like another one on the street. It's almost as if it's like our football pitches in England, for the grassroots. It's the same where currently I'm at the moment for ice hockey, which is just crazy. It's crazy for me to feel.
Yeah. So now, did you participated with the United Kingdom national team, right? If I'm not mistaken.
So through my roller seasons, so back when IHF hosted the roller world championships, I was able to. That was my first, and unbeknown by then, it was my last tournament out there. Because after that season in Slovakia, IHF, due to funding, after that, pulled the plug on the actual roller tournaments. In terms of different tournaments for Great Britain, probably been in the senior men team 4 or 5 different times before that, in a different federation in the UK inline side of things.
Yeah. Now, have you been able to follow your brother's footsteps and play in any roller in the European leagues?
Yeah. So I can't remember what age I signed. I went and lived in a little town called Biarritz, which is like southern France, in Anglet. Lovely little place to play and live. Did a season there with Anglet. Came home, and then a couple of years later, I did a season again in I'm gonna say just south of France, not far away from Paris, for a team called Amiens. I've done a couple of seasons out in Italy, but roller for me growing up, there was a lot more of traveling than there is in ice. So the amount of tournaments I've played as well, just in Spain or all over in that sense, it's just unreal.
Well, but a lot of people don't realize that going to Spain or going to France, it literally like going from us to go down to North Carolina or down to Indiana or to Tennessee. You just go left for 5-6 hours and boom, you're in another country.
Yeah, so like for me where I'm from, I would drive 45 minutes to the airport, get a plane for probably 1 hour, and I'm in France.
Yeah.
And I know that some guys who live in London or the really southern part of England, they would literally just drive, jump on an underground train. They're in France within half an hour.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy. Yeah, because it's only it's not even 90 miles. I think it's not even that. It's 50, 60 miles across or.
Yeah, exactly. You got it from the point, the points to the points. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so my ancestors came from Normandy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of know a little bit about
it. The way it is.
Yeah.
Same with France, same with Spain. Same again, you probably add an extra 1.5 hours onto that, and you're in north of Spain. Same again. You've got Germany, all them places there. Which, in terms of the roller side of things, which is what I predominantly did growing up. All them tournaments were there that were within a couple of hours of plane journey ride. There.
Yeah, it's crazy. My brother from another mother lives in Cologne, and Benny is just amazing. And I met him while living in Africa, coaching hockey, and we've been best bros ever since. And yeah, it's pretty cool to just to know the geography that you're talking about. So
yeah.
But yeah, so tell us a little bit about the European system of hockey versus the American style. Which do you prefer to play, or which do you prefer to play against? Based on your experience being inside the net.
Sure, the cage. So in England, it's a very growing up, we was kind of formed into playing the boring box style of you just have your 2D, your 2 forwards, and we would. I mean, I've definitely seen games where I've seen teams stand in that whole position for the full game and win 1-0. They're happy, Some teams growing up they wasn't the strongest of abilities, but they knew that if they could hold their formation in the box, they was winning it, or even taking it to a 0-0. certain good teams that they couldn't win against. And then obviously as the years developed and some older players retired and then the younger players came through, and then England was always trying to look for a different method of what's different. Why do we keep going to certain tournaments, playing the English system and still losing 9-0 to Czech or 12-0 to America or Canada? It's all them guys that we was losing big numbers to. And if I'm honest, we still lose to them big numbers now. So growing up, it was a box system. I was lucky to play with a great team growing up called the Northern Cyclones. Played with them from day one. And then we slowly developed, and we was coached by a great coach, or a couple of good coaches actually, that developed the systems into slowly what the English hockey was now. So it's like a 2-1-1 formation. But you come out here and you just see that the actual systems out here are just completely still adapting and completely different. Like right now, for example, jumped on a couple of teams at roller especially, and the way that the game seems to be changing, well, from my eyes over here, is teams are keeping the puck within the attacking zone, when we would normally send the puck back to regroup and circle below the dots and go again. I'm stood there thinking, okay, that puck's going to come back to my 1D man. Now they're going to circle in the attacking zone and try and go again. I'm thinking, okay, well, here we go. The ability that some of these guys have got now, I'm playing against especially a couple of guys that are saying that they're potentially going to be somewhere around the draft pick in a couple of years, or on like the junior systems in USA hockey and stuff. So the game's always adapting. It's nice to obviously see what it once was in England to where it is now. But even when you're looking at teams playing now, it's just we're still miles ahead, and behind, should I say? And I just don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, if I'm honest with you. Because I can't see the game in England changing much right now. And then, like I said, I'm out here, or we've just seen that a couple of people at tours and stuff, and them tournaments going on, like obviously Pat Maroon there, and the game's completely changed with how they're playing the system over in America as well.
Yeah. I had a chance to talk to Corey Hodge the other night from CarShield. He actually plays I think he plays in Spain.
Okay.
He told me the name. He sent me the and it's going to be in an episode that's dropping here in a couple of weeks, like in another couple of days. There might be one dropping. I know there's one dropping Friday. I know there's one dropping Tuesday next week. So I can't remember. I know Nick Leon from the Detroit Fuel is Friday, and then I think Haji is on the following that Tuesday, because they got Narch finals coming up that Friday. Yep. So he'll be out that way. So we talked a little bit about Patty Maroon and what he brings to the table. So that's kind of cool. But Corey, he won a championship with Valencia, I think is what it is. Valencia, and then it's like another D name.
Maybe Valladolid.
It could be.
Is it Valencia? Is like do they wear silver and grey jerseys?
They might. Hang on, I can pull it up real quick. Let's see.
I think they do. I think I had a friend that played in that a couple of years ago for them. But I think they was in National 1 like a couple of years ago, maybe, or 5 years ago, I guess.
Vicini Davoli. Vicenza, and then Diavoli.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can't. But yeah, he's got red pants on, gray jersey, with some sponsorship on top of it. So
yeah.
But yeah, so it's pretty cool talking to him. And then I got Shivo jumping on the pod later this week too, so that's going to be kind of cool for Black Ice. Yeah. I'll reach out to Patty Maroon and see if I can't get him, but I don't think
he'll get on. He'll come on. He's pumping the tires on the wheel tires at the moment, so you might be good.
I might catch him on a good day. We'll see. Yeah. I'll try. I'm still trying to get a couple of guys from the West Coast. with the Pamela Lebeda team, and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, it's really cool to see what. And then I had a Blood and Feathers guy on Ken Maese. He's pretty cool. And same with Epic Society's pro Tyler Shetland. He plays out of Arizona University for ice, but now he's getting ready to. They're kind of ready to step up and make their pro debut this at Narch Finals. So I'm excited to see those guys. Those guys are going to be super fast.
Yeah, I watched a couple of the Narch the videos and stuff like that, and the tours videos. And I mean, I was out here for State Wars last year, and done a State Wars a couple of times now, and just seeing them guys wheel around that rink, it's just the issue is obviously with England compared to that is that the rinks are so much bigger out here than they are in the UK. So, and I know I only said how many there's an handful of rinks in the UK, but these are all honestly half the size of these rinks that some of these kids are coming out here and playing on. So for anyone that, like, from the UK coming out here to play, and as soon as you get there, you just think, wow, the size of these rinks, and it is daunting for some of these kids at 10, 12, 14 years old from the UK coming over here when they're playing on what you guys would probably class as like a 3-on-3 mini rink. They're stepping out on there, and it'll take them a couple of games to get into it, but before you know it, if you're losing a couple of games and you're only playing in one tournament division, then you've only got 3 or 4 games before
it's over.
So that was the big thing that Rob Shelton back in the UK for the roller side of things. He was with a program called the Young Guns Hockey. He brings a lot of UK kids out to America for State Wars. Got a great relationship with Tim, and I've been able to be lucky to come out with Rob and Coach, and we try to always get the kids on the biggest rink in England, but even still then when we get out here, it's just the speed and the size is just uncomparable to what stuff is going on out here.
Yeah, it's almost like you wish you could just find a soccer pitch that had concrete on it, so that way you can get them out there, so that way you guys have an idea, because the rinks, the standardized rink size in the UK can vary from either from Olympic size down to almost a third of the size. So it makes it tough, I mean, it's good for the home team because you have home field advantage, but because you'll know your rink. I know when I was coaching in Africa in Achi, they had the smallest rink when I was there, or when I got there, but then they were able to expand that rink and make it bigger and wider to a full NHL size rink. And then so like that one's the second largest in Namibia, outside of the one in Swakopmund that they built at the sports center that they have there now. So that's a full international Olympic sized rink. So that's pretty cool. It's just amazing to see, like, the differences, going from, like you said, it literally was 2-3 steps and you were at the other end. And then now it takes you 55 steps to make it through, when you come over here.
You got
so much bigger.
The same even at ice hockey in the higher levels, the rinks can vary that much. But what was great this year, I can't remember the guy's name. He messaged me because I shared the post, but one of the rinks in Scotland, in the top division at ice hockey, one of the guys there knows somebody from somebody. He was able to, in the off season, put a roller pad on the ice. So they have, it's a nice looking rink, obviously with the still mat on there, and they was able to actually get a couple of games and a couple of things going for the people up in the Scotland area, which I think they only have one rink originally anyway. Some of them guys would have to travel like 4 hours south to play, a bit of roller hockey, never mind a couple of ice games. So it was good to see that was kind of, I think that the things are changing slowly in England for people trying to get more rinks going, or at least off-season converting pads. And obviously going back to these, some of these ice players that's playing in these big leagues, that or Conor Bedard, for example, he's playing or was playing roller, and
Mhm.
the when back in, obviously when I was growing up, you was always told that if you play roller and you go to ice, that you're going to be a nobody, because that's just kind of the rule of the thumb from the coaches, and just kind of you weren't built to be an ice hockey player. It's now nice that obviously this day and age that you're seeing some of the big guys, Patty Maroon, people like that, actually going back and playing a bit of roller, and coming out and saying this is how they started off, and this is where the grassroots was originally started from. So that's kind of put a big chill on the whole persona of, if you play ice, you can't play roller kind of thing. So that's kind of all changed as well. So the whole dynamics of England hockey for roller side of things, I think, is changing, especially over the last few years as well.
Yeah, no, that was something that we've talked a lot about on the pod is that, we don't understand how ice hockey coaches can look down on a roller hockey, even though it's essentially the same sport, but it's two different sports.
Yeah.
With this, you have, and the mechanics are the object of the game is the same. Put the puck in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And with the no offsides rules, that kind of throws a lot of the coaches off. But with roller, because it's such a fast, such a fluid game, but it's not as fast as ice, and you take away one extra skater, and that just opens up that rink even more.
It's just the rink size, right? You've got more space there to show people more, like you said, the dynamics of whether you want to go down a very physical team or a very skillful team. But it all comes down to, like you said, the systems are near enough the same,
Yeah.
But like you said, one less guy, it gives you more space on that rink to let them roller guys make the game look even faster than what it should be.
Well, but not only that, but then now it increases your time of possession of the puck for you individually as a skater.
Yeah.
And for a goaltender, you get to see different shots that you would normally see. But it also helps you see shots more clearly as well, because you don't have that fifth guy standing that literally will just park in front of the net.
Yeah.
They have to circle in order to make you move, and you're able to get clear lines and everything like that. So it's kind of cool. I always think that it was great to do both. I've always been an advocate for that. They're two different games, two different styles of the same game. It's kind of like softball and baseball. Same principle. But they are two different games. So it's really cool to see. And it's really cool to see, the number one draft pick also plays roller hockey, with Connor. Pat Maroon was playing in Narch and State Wars before he even started playing it, in the upper echelon of everything, So, I mean, it's really cool to see, like you said, the roller guys starting to finally get some, some respect for all the hard work that they do,
I think that also maybe social media, I'm kind of letting, people like you and the podcasts and certain the social media companies out there that are pumping the tires on ice hockey players playing roller. You see a lot more posts now, or example, like was it a couple of days ago? I think the NHL posted the photo of the Mudcats winning the Pro Division a couple of days ago or weeks ago. So social media without that push and bump of showing the youngsters coming up that it's okay to do both, which is probably not we didn't have back in the day growing up. Maybe that's made a big push on it as well, I guess.
Yeah, you're definitely right with that. So tell us a little bit about the weather in the UK in the wintertime versus Michigan winters, because you've had a chance to experience that. Do you guys get snow over there? Or if you do, it's probably not as much as what you saw.
In terms of the weather, I mean, it's practically always raining. I'd say 9 months of the year we get rain. Or just doom and gloom,
Yeah, but it just seems crazy to me, because you guys are actually a little bit further north than a lot of the United States.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
don't know.
but just the way that the axis tilts on the Earth's rotation, you know, in correlation to the sun, just makes it so it's just gonna make you guys have water instead of snow.
I think we have probably about, I don't know, sun. I'm going to say for 2 months of the year in total. Snow wise, we don't get much snow, and if we do, I don't know. You can still walk in it and you can still drive in it, depending on where you're living. You know, if you're living on a hill, or if you don't want to go into work, you're milking it. So you say that you can't get off your driveway. But in terms of, you know, life or death, you're still surviving. You know, we aren't getting his power cut off or anything like that just because of a bit of snow. You know, things are still moving. So in terms of the snow here, yeah, I mean, I've not firsthand seen the bad days of you guys having snow in Michigan, but I have been here a couple of times now when it snowed a little, and yeah, even Michigan's smaller snow particles are just like way more than what we get on a bad day in England.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to experience, you know, 3 feet of dumping, right, you know, you wake up and it's freaking nice out like it is now, and then all of a sudden you wake up the next morning going,
Why?
where did all this come from?
But yeah, the weather's snowy. We don't lose sleep over. It's more floodings. You know, we could go a week or two without with no rain, a little bit of sun, but mainly dark, gloopy clouds, and then we get hit with a big rain, and then people's houses are flooded, and we don't know what to do then. So it's the rain more than anything. But yeah.
Okay, well, we're just about out of time. I do want to ask you one last question. So tell me your favorite hockey moment or memory, you know, whether it be, you know, as a kid or playing in the upper echelon of the United Kingdom Hockey League, or even a roller hockey moment. You know, just give us a fun memory.
I mean, I probably got two that stick in my mind that are on par. I think the under 12 division, we won my roller team. We won the European Championships. Looking back on it now and laughing about it now, I feel like that the parents enjoyed that more than the kids did. I mean, it was in Germany, so they was drinking a load of beer and stuff. So, but that's one main, you know, probably my first one that sticks in my thoughts of growing up. And then not the season just gone, but the season beforehand, when I was at Sheffield, I was able to play with a bunch of guys at Sheffield Steel Dogs, and we didn't win the league, but we won the playoffs. Got to play with a bunch of great guys during the COVID series from that team, likes of like Liam Kirk, who was drafted. A guy, unfortunately, a good friend of mine, Alex Graham, he died last week. Great player. He just signed for the Sheffield Steelers. Just a bunch of great guys that you grow up with. Your paths align down the line, and then it's just a great locker room team that, you know, didn't have the biggest the biggest wage bill. I think it's probably the bottom end in that league, but boys just pulled through and somehow scraped the 2 wins on playoff seasons. So that was a nice memory to obviously come out with and hold with me for the season after. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock. I want to thank Miles for taking the time to chat with us here today, and we will get you back on. You know, we'll get you back on soon, so I appreciate you taking the time.
No, thank you, Ben. You take care.
All right, bud. You too. Cheers.
Cheers.